All right, guys. Today we're gonna be reacting to German food tour in Munich, Germany. Ultimate Guide in Deutschland. Thank you so much for the support, guys. We are very happy. All the work that we have done so far. We're gonna simply react to this amazing video. Make sure you like to subscribe. We're heading to those 4,000 subscribers. My main goal is to get to the 10,000 subscribers, but getting to that 4,000 is gonna be a game changer. So make sure you like to subscribe. Meantime, guys, let's jump in.
To Munich, Germany, one of the greatest cities in the world to experience a vibrant and inviting beer garden culture. Between the large barrels of cold lagers and wheat beers on tap, and the endless supply of creamy Obatsta and massive pretzels, delighting in a German beer garden can't be missed for any lover of delicious food.
Guten Morgen, we are officially in Germany, and yesterday we flew into Munich to kickstart our 12-day southern Germany road trip.
Today we'll be taking ourselves on a German food tour to get a little taste of the Bavarian dishes we'll be having for the next little while. So without further ado, let's get eating.
It's loud and clear. Man, that looks so nice.
The very first thing we're trying today is Schmalzknödel, which is a deep fried Bavarian donut that is very popular amongst tourists and locals alike. It's often sprinkled over with some sugar. So we've already put the sugar on there. I'm gonna give it a little taste because I can feel it's nice and warm.
That's a donut.
It actually reminds me a little bit more of funnel cake than a donut. It also reminds me of this Taiwanese fried donut called the youtiao. So if you're Taiwanese, you would know what I'm talking about. But this is really, really good. Nice and savory, and then a little bit sweet from the sugar.
Oh, so hot. It's just like a funnel cake, even softer though.
We have made it to our first beer garden of the day, and it's in the middle of this massive market that just goes on and on. It's a 200-year-old market that specializes in flowers, fruits, and meats, and we are just having the most glorious day. The sun's out, and we are ready to keep eating. So the first thing that we actually have to get before the clock strikes noon is Weisswurst, and this is a Bavarian white sausage made from minced veal. It doesn't look that appetizing, but according to the locals, it's
I
very
was about to say it looks non-appetizing at all. It looks like a very plain sausage. Well, let's see.
very tasty. It's commonly eaten for breakfast or any time before noon, so maybe as a light snack before lunch. And it came with this mini pretzel and 2 packets of sauce. I'm assuming one of them has to be mustard. We also got a beer because we're at a beer garden. This is a lager that the people working at the beer stand highly recommended, so we're gonna have to give that a taste. And then the thing we've been really excited to try in Bavaria, this is a massive Bavarian pretzel. It's like larger than my head. It's definitely the largest pretzel I've ever held in my hands. The Bavarian pretzel is typically lightly salted, and it comes with either butter or a mustard. But today we have decided to eat our massive pretzel with Obatsta. This is a delicious cheese mix. It is 2/3 camembert cheese.
I literally thought that was ice cream. I'm like, man, are you gonna eat ice cream with pretzel?
1/3
And
butter,
onions.
so it's got all the good stuff in there.
Looks good.
And then it's topped off with some red onions and also a tomato right here. The last thing we have is Kartoffelsalat, which is a potato salad. And their potato salads are very light. It has vinegar in it, also green onions and mustard. It actually looks very much like the potato salad that we had over in Austria. And I love their potato salad, so I'm sure I'm gonna enjoy this as well. But let's dig in. We are so hungry. We gotta eat this before noon, so the clock's ticking.
What, are we gonna turn into a bratwurst if we don't?
Bratwurst. We'll turn into these Weisswurst. A quick rewind to the start of the day when we both took AG. Most sausages, you can't just start eating it with the casing and all. You have to cut it in a special way. I'm not an expert on how to cut it, but I just know you cannot eat the casing because it's like way too hard. So let me chop these bad boys in half.
They said
Alright.
diagonally, I think.
Diagonally,
Yeah.
like this.
Really?
Not that extreme. A little bit less extreme.
But wouldn't it be easier to take the entire casing off at once?
Go for it.
Oh my gosh, this casing is hard to cut into. The casing's not coming
Interesting.
off. I might just have to eat the casing. Oh wait, it is coming off. Ooh, look at that. Wow. Wow, look
I
at
will eat the skin, and you can eat the skin, right? There's nothing wrong with that, right? You can simply eat it.
that. It's just falling off.
I'll eat
This
it.
feels kind of wrong. It feels like I'm skinning.
Looks like Play-Doh.
Skinning something. All right.
Interesting. Do the other one. Your fingers are already dirty.
All right.
Claire hates having her fingers dirty.
Yeah, I will eat it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Whoa.
This is very entertaining to watch.
This is a weird texture. All right. I've undressed my sausage, and now I guess I'm gonna eat them.
Want some mustard?
Oh yeah, let's get the mustard.
that looks very good.
Ooh, that is so odd. The texture of it is like those Asian fish cakes. Like it's really bouncy, but it tastes so good.
Got my bite of Weisswurst. It has the texture of like bologna. That's really nice. It has a resemblance to regular like, I don't know, American breakfast sausage.
Chad wouldn't let me drink this beer off camera. He's like, I must get a shot of your first taste of German beer. So here we go. It's pretty good beer. It does change like the whole feeling of having a beer when you are sitting in a beer garden in the middle of Munich and the church bells are going off in the distance.
And it's true.
It
I
does
was
feel
kinda-
like
I was about to say, like, the experience with the church and the people, the atmosphere. Oh my God.
I don't know. It feels unreal, but it is real.
Surreal. I think one of the biggest culture shocks from coming from the US to Germany is seeing people with beers at 10:30 in the morning. Just because that
Yeah,
is
that's
something
very
that
rare.
isn't really done in the US as often. People will have, what is it, like mimosas sometimes?
Most of the
But
brunch.
otherwise, yeah, you don't really drink beer until at least, what, 3 p.m. or
Yeah.
something?
Look at that pretzel. My God.
Claire was very eager for the pretzel. This is not what I thought it was going to be like. I thought it was going to be more of like a dip, just because I heard we're going to have cheese with a pretzel, because that's what I normally think of. But yeah, it's a lot thicker. And I know it. This Obatsta makes me think of like a more cheesy cream cheese, if that makes sense. It's like a
I got you.
cheesier cream cheese.
I got you. I see what you're saying. I know what you're saying. And I was thinking about what would be the flavor of it. But it seemed like it's a good cheese. It's not a bad cheese.
I've been eyeing the thickest part of the pretzel just because I know the inside is going to be super moist.
Claire always does
Moist and fluffy.
Honestly, just the inside. Oh my gosh.
This is what I'm always left with.
Whoa. A cheesier cream cheese, exactly like what
Yeah.
Chad said. That is so good, but a little stinkier because camembert, you know, it's almost like brie where it has that little hint of stinky in the back of your throat when you're like eating it. That's what this camembert also has. Oh, delicious. That really looks heavy though. I'm very pleased with the pretzel that we are having right now because a lot of the times when you get like a soft pretzel, they can be really dry, but this one is incredibly moist on the inside. I wish they had a cinnamon and sugar pretzel.
Ooh.
That would be so good.
Yeah, Puerto Rico, we have a bunch of those. Yeah, we have a bunch of those. I haven't seen one in the mainland yet, but in Puerto Rico, you go actually to the malls in Puerto Rico, they will give you samples for free, a bunch of them. But I was asking why you haven't seen like a pretzel with cinnamon and sugar. That I don't know. I'm just saying.
Last but not least, the potato salad.
That looks
I like the
amazing.
way they cut the potatoes for the potato salads in Austria and Germany. Like it's a little bit more flat versus in the US it's mostly like cubes or chunks.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
That's good.
You really can't beat the potato salads on this part of the world. Like it's just so much better. I think the vinegar just makes a big difference.
Yeah, it does. We just wrapped up our little brunch, or big brunch, honestly. It was pretty filling. But one thing about beer gardens that we wanted to note is that you can actually bring your own food. The only requirement is that you have to buy a beer from
Yeah, exactly. And now we're heading over to Old Town to just take in some more of this gorgeous weather.
Wow. Wow. Look at that. That's beautiful. Music is fire. English party.
This is my very first time in Germany, and I have been blown away because this place feels like heaven. My first impression is that I just can't believe this place exists, and maybe it is the good weather, maybe it's just the good vibes that I'm drawing from the people here, but it's just a Monday afternoon. The beer garden was completely full. People were shopping around the markets, just having a grand old time.
Yeah.
And
I'm so excited, man, to just go to Germany. First, I'm gonna try to do it with my wife, and then when things get better, I can go with my kids. Cause I know that would be such a great experience. Such a great experience.
really was just a sense of community that I haven't witnessed in quite some time, and that was just it felt really wholesome.
Yeah, there were so many different stages of life going on in that beer garden. There were little children, there was someone, working on their laptop, a bunch of older men getting together and having drinks at 11 a.m. I think that's what's so special about Munich, or I guess maybe being in a city. But I also think this morning, just that fresh, crisp spring air and hearing the birds and being under this giant tree, it's just exciting. It's like new beginnings.
Yeah, this entire place, and especially the parks, have been picture perfect.
Yeah.
We were walking along this jade green river that had cute little duckies swimming in it. There were also these beautiful speckled fish just swimming around. There was one swan that was sitting on this perfect nest in the middle of this island. Wow. There are little flowers and leaves falling all around us. It feels like a fairy tale.
It really does. As you guys may or may not know, this is actually my second time to Munich. I went on a high school trip back in high school and I climbed up to the famous tower here, which I highly recommend if you are coming to Munich. It's just like a few euro and you can walk up like this historic staircase to the top and you overlook the entire city. And I remember that being such a core memory for me, but also just looking at Old Town now versus back then. It has changed, but it also hasn't. I feel like my perspective has changed on the whole area.
I'm excited to come back.
It might be what it changed you was your perspective. I was gonna say that your perspective had changed.
Back to Munich in the future to see like what my impressions are then, because every time you travel back to somewhere you've already been before, it's wild how much your worldview just alters based on what season of life you're in, your age, who you're surrounding yourself with,
but also what season it's in that place.
Right.
Like if you have a rainy day, it's rainy, it's crowded, maybe it's like just a bad day.
Yeah.
But then you go back and you're like, oh, it's a great day. It's crazy how that happens.
I do think we're getting just amazing weather. The sun is out, it's temperate.
You're taking a nap.
This is lovely.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's kind of cool. Oh, you can go there and... Yeah, okay. You can... Ollie.
For the past 30 minutes of our life, we have been watching the surfers surfing on the river here in the park. and it was so mesmerizing. You could just watch every single person. They each had their own style with surfing. Some would like flail around more, some were very smooth and gentle.
Oh yeah, people of all ages, men and women, and it was so entertaining, like to the point where I didn't even want to leave. Chad's like, we gotta keep going. I'm like, no, but I want to just keep watching. That's definitely one of the highlights for me at this point.
Yeah, and a new bucket list item for me is definitely hopping on a board and trying that one day. Not this trip, but maybe next trip.
Ooh la la, Surfer Chad. the name fits.
Well, my friends, we are having such a difficult day.
And they're doing it correctly. You see how they only getting one plate of each thing for both of them? I think that's the right way to do it. Because then you end up just completely full, and then you don't have more space to eat dinner or lunch. That's the right way to do it.
Hey, just kidding. Obviously, it has been such a wonderful, easy, relaxed paced day. But we've made it to another beer garden, which is in the center of the English garden. And this one, I believe, is like the Chinese beer garden because there's like this pagoda structure over there. We have a few other dishes to try. I'm gonna pass the camera over to Claire for that part. Now on to you.
So what we have on the table is actually pretty exciting because we've tried basically all of them over in Austria. But the first thing is Käsespätzle, and this is the German macaroni and cheese, ooey gooey cheesy goodness with some fried onions and green onions to top it off. And we have the Apfelstrudel. We actually learned how to make this over in Salzburg, and so we know the amount of labor and time that goes into baking this deliciously flaky dessert. But if you don't know what this is, it's layers and layers of thinly stretched pastry dough, and it has some marinated apples in there, some raisins, cinnamon. It's topped with powdered sugar, and this warm vanilla bean icing, I guess you could say. One other thing on the table. We finally have our wheat beer. This is actually what I wanted to get earlier today because I believe the wheat beer pairs really well with the Weisswurst. But we got
it. It seemed like the way wheat beer is, actually looks very tasty. I'm not gonna lie, it looks very nice.
Lager instead. So now we are trying the wheat beer. Okay, I like this way more than the lager. The wheat beer is delicious. What does that taste? It tastes savory, but...
It's the yeast.
The yeast?
Yeah, it has yeast in it. Kind of like bread.
It's the yeast.
Yeah.
It's alive. Yeah. It looks like a heartier, more filling beer.
That's good.
A full body.
Is that
I think that's a wine term. This tastes like the food you would want to have as a late night snack.
Oh yeah. I feel like the thing that's always missing in American mac and cheeses is onion. And honestly, when we make it at home, I'm always telling Chad, like, toss on some onion because it really makes it so much tastier.
Yeah. When Claire first made mac and cheese for me back in...
I didn't think about that. That's a great point. Putting onions in your mac and cheese. Huh. Never thought about that. Never thought about that.
College, I thought it was very strange. Then I tried it. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
You can jazz up anything. Also, Claire taught me that with ramen packets, I don't know why most people don't do this. You can upgrade the ramen. You can put egg in there, and like, oh yeah, a lot of.
Bro, really? You think that's an upgrade, man? I've been doing that since 2006, bro. I used to, back in the day when I was in college, I used to buy these packages of ramen, right? It will be like 8 of them for $1. And because I didn't have a lot of money, I would just bag a cart of eggs, a dozen of eggs, and I would just eat that. I'll eat that. I will make the ramen, boil as a soup, and put the egg in it. My best friend actually taught me how to do that, and that actually did it.
Other ingredient. What else can you put in there?
You can put bok choy,
sausage,
spinach,
whatever you want.
anything. You can put meats in there.
Yeah,
Oh,
sausage.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, you can put chicken.
Chicken,
Crazy.
yeah.
That was like, my mind was blown when she did that.
Yeah, anything. Soup. It was nice. Ooh.
Everything that we've had for lunch today has reminded me of autumn, which is weird because we're here during the springtime. But like the cinnamon and the vanilla and the beer, I don't know. I feel like we always drink a lot more beer in the autumn time. I don't know why. Also like that macaroni and cheese, it just feels like coziness. And there's actually a word for that here in Bavaria. The word is gemütlich, and it's kind of similar to the word Huga, but it's essentially the Bavarian word for coziness and the knack for savoring a special moment. So this is gemütlich right here, where there are people around you, the sun is out, you feel warm, you're eating delicious food, and you're here with good company.
Me?
You?
Wow.
Who else? That is so good. While we were eating that spatzel, this apple strudel was just sitting and sitting and sitting in this vanilla cream, and the bottom has gotten so gooey.
Yeah, soggy.
Oh, it just makes it so much better.
Wow, that looks amazing. That's a responsible customer. There you go. Hey man, shout out to the music, man. That music is fire. Wow, you got me locked in. The music that hey, shout out to these people, man. I'm gonna leave the link in the description down below. Go and show some support because the editing is fire. Music, wow. I'm a musician, so I'm locked in.
For the last 5 hours, we have been in this park. I've been reading my book and just soaking in the ambiance and the atmosphere. I've been telling Chad over and over again that it doesn't feel like we're in a park in the heart of a pretty big city. It feels like we're pretty far out in nature, and it's because this park isn't manicured. Like, things are growing up, wildflowers are sprouting all about. It just feels like you're not in a city because there's also no trash anywhere. It's extremely clean. And if you look at this park on a map, it just keeps going and going and going. We've been here for 5 hours. We still haven't seen it all. And what I absolutely love and wish we could actually do is walk our 2 dogs in this park because it feels like you're on a trail. I've seen so many pups out and they're all just off leash running around and having a grand old time. But I think we spent enough time in the park, even though I don't want to leave. We've got to move on and go and find our dinner spot. Oh my goodness, beautiful. Thank you so
And that sauce and everything. Oh my god, I want to try that so bad.
much.
Wow, it's like a giant tart.
I ordered this specifically for you guys for the food tour. They had a half portion on the menu and the waitress was like, "Are you sure you don't want the half portion?" I'm like, "No, I want the full thing so that the viewers can see what it actually looks like." So this here is Schweinshaxe, and it is a roasted pork knuckle. And if you don't know what the pork knuckle is, it's the upper part of the pig's leg, and it comes with this little potato dumpling and gravy, and it looks so crispy on the outside, and I've heard that it's really tender on the inside. Oh. And then I also have a little tiny bowl of coleslaw, and then on the other side of the table we have sauerbraten, which is a beef pot roast. It comes with a dumpling, a noodle, and then it also...
Hey, shout out to Germany, bro. You guys have this thing correct, man. You guys have it correct. Ah, that looks so amazing, man.
also has gravy drizzled all over it, and apparently this beef is marinated before slow cooking for hours and hours. I've heard that the sauce is homemade, and it's like a gingerbread applesauce. Sounds very magical.
Autumnal.
Yeah, it sounds autumnal. And then that dish came with this red cabbage that's also homemade. Never had this before. It's very purple, kind of like a purplish red color, very deep and rich looking. Oh my gosh.
Wow, that's...
How to dig in.
Yeah, oh. Oh my god.
Good knuckle.
That's a good knuckle. My favorite part is the gravy. The gravy that comes with it. I'm definitely going to be eating lots and lots of this during our time here in Bavaria. This is absolutely delicious.
First impression, it's warm, smoky. It's what I'd imagine you'd want to have. I feel like this is very typical with a lot of German food during the holidays. But that hint of, now that I know what's in it, the apple, or that gingerbread, or ginger, you can definitely taste it, but I wouldn't have been able to pinpoint it without hearing that.
So I'm eating my little potato noodle. It's so good, very bouncy and chewy. And I get
Very
to the middle
bouncy
and I
and
find a
chewy.
surprise.
Very bouncy and chewy. Meaning what? It bounce while you're eating? Chewy like a gum? I don't know. Or like a very tough steak.
They're like two little croutons or something in the middle.
Oh.
And I just started laughing because it was so unexpected. And I don't know why they would put croutons in there or like bread. Let me taste it. Yeah, it's like two little pieces of honestly kind of soft bread, not crunchy. How did they get that in there? While we wait on our waitress
That's a good question.
to bring us our check, I wanted to share the beer that I got this evening. It's a dark beer, and it's pretty good. I'd say it's just as good as that wheat beer that we had earlier today. Still, the lager, the first one we had, not my favorite one. It was good, but like the wheat beer and this dark beer, it's just so much better.
We've packed away our pork knuckle for our sandwiches tomorrow. It was kind of funny because our server kept on coming by and other people were walking by just looking at it. They're like, what is that? What did they order?
Yeah, they
Just
thought
'cause
it looked a little unappetizing, I would
That is such an American thing. Just put it all together in the same box.
say. But to us, it just looks like normal pulled pork. But this will be enough meat for sandwiches probably for the rest of our time in Bavaria.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see about that. But if you want to see where we go next as we continue to explore Germany, but also travel to 50 countries around the world, hit subscribe. And with all of that, catch you on the next one.
I mean, God bless their trip, and hopefully they can make all the 50 countries. I mean, I wish they do it, man. I wish they do. What a great video. What a great video. What a great people, too. That poor knuckle. My God. I want to try that so bad. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Bavaria, you guys have it right. You guys have it right. Munich, you guys have it right. Is it Bavaria? No, it's Munich. I want to say Bavaria. It's Munich. My bad. Meantime, guys, I'll see you in the next one.